A very good evening to you all and welcome from me, Rukidi Kiijanangoma, to News Tonight here on UBC TV this Monday, the second day of September 2024. We're coming to you live online and on air from Broadcast House here on Lyle Avenue. First though, let's have a look at our top stories. Mover of Private Members Bill 2024, Lumu, explains the bill. Uganda Police Force calls for public vigilance over terrorism threats. Power China builds 4 billion kilowatt hours Karuma Hydropower Dam. And in sports, State Minister Peter Ogwang visits Uganda Paralympics team camp in Paris. Hello there and welcome once again. On sign language, it is Yusuf Senyomo who will be with us through this bulletin, and let's now get started. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, has emphasized the need for the older generation to nurture young people to raise dignified, responsible and productive citizens for sustainable development. Citing a Runyankore proverb that states, "A herd of cows without a calf's pen is already finished," Mrs. Museveni stressed that a generation of elders without youth is doomed. The remarks were during a meeting with Uganda's Private Sector Foundation Chairman Humphrey Nzei and Executive Director Stephen Asimwe. Also present were Barbara Kaija, co-founder of the Emerging Leaders Program, New Vision's Editor-in-Chief, and Betty Byanyima, Executive Director of Global Leadership Forum Summit Uganda. Now, she asserted that if God grants life, as he has done for the older generation, they must run, not just walk, to catch up with the young people. She recalled Mwalimu Nyerere's words when trying to galvanize Africans, while woke Africans must run to catch up with the rest of the world. Take a watch.
The First Lady asserted that if God grants life, as he has done for the older generation, they must run, not just walk, to catch up with the young people. This is to help them thrive and fulfill their potential, rather than succumb to despair. She recalled Mwalimu Nyerere's words when trying to galvanize Africans. While others walk, Africans must run to catch up with the rest of the world.
Looking at what has happened to Kenya, that can happen to anybody. That's why we don't have the time. We need to work now and work all the time and stretch out our hands and hold hands, across these universities and have one purpose that is driving all of us, to ensure that we will not allow Uganda to go back ever, as long as we have life and we are here. We all believe that God is with us, and God doesn't want us to continue going back and forth like.
During a meeting held in Nakasero, the minister discussed the Private Sector Foundation Uganda's willingness to raise funds and support the Emerging Leaders Program. This initiative, spearheaded by the First Lady, focuses on values, character development, and life skills training for young people. It is being implemented in partnership with Makerere University, Life Ministry Uganda, and the Global Leadership Summit. Mrs. Museveni acknowledged the country's youthful population as a blessing. However, she highlighted the responsibility of older generations to guide, inspire and model the right values and choices for a prosperous future and nation.
For me, I always feel like we have really betrayed God, because God blessed Africa so much, with so much resources that are there at our disposal. But they will be processed by other people and taken away while we remain poor and forever waiting for others to help us. And when they don't help, we are in trouble.
Barbara Kaija expressed appreciation to the Private Sector Foundation for their willingness to support the development of young emerging leaders. She reported that with support from President Museveni and the First Lady, the program has conducted value-based training for Makerere student leaders and lecturers, as well as an orientation for over 1,300 new students.
This is a cause that affects all of us, especially as business people, and we're cognizant of the importance of putting faith into our young people and nurturing the correct young people, because this is our workforce for tomorrow.
Our cardinal existence as PSFU is to create an enabling environment for businesses to thrive. It's only fair for us to give back and also create an enabling environment for our children and the people around us.
Reporting for UBC, Pagma William.
Now, the Mityana County South Legislator Richard Lumu says he is disturbed by some people who misunderstood the administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024. He says the private members' bill in question is to strengthen and ease a flow of business in Parliament, as we hear in this story.
During Parliament's regional sittings in Gulu, Mityana County South Legislator Richard Lumu introduced to Parliament a private members' bill titled The Administration of Parliament Amendment Bill 2024. The bill focuses on the selection of the Leader of Opposition and the Opposition Chief Whip.
I feel Parliament and the presiding officers are trying to target the Leader of the Opposition because he's being very strong and very straight.
Now that the Speaker has allowed this, I think let her allow the other amendments to the Administration of Parliament Act. But also, secondly, I'm not sure what the intention of the movers is. Because at the end of the day, somebody might also move that let us also elect the leader of government business.
The bill has raised mixed reactions as some stakeholders criticize the spirit of the bill coming at a time when Parliament has been on the scent of corruption allegations, largely fronted by the opposition wing led by Leader of Opposition, Joel Senyonyi.
That is not what I'm doing. I am simply strengthening it. I'm simply widening it. I have also seen people saying that, this Lumu now is being supported by the government and the president. Whoever is thinking like that, if it's not shallow, is only myopic. Because we have been here in Parliament, we went to our constituencies and we are elected from there.
Lumu says some members of Parliament and the public narrowed the bill to personalities.
For people who have gone to school enough, some of you included, if you have a different idea from a colleague, first of all, you don't release dogs. The other one, you don't quarrel. The other one, you don't become bitter. The other one, you don't become crazy. You don't make yourself mad. What you do, you also make a counter argument.
In the same bill, the legislator is bringing up a system for members of Parliament to elect the Deputy Speaker from a different party.
Know why we are here? There are two sides. One is the opposition, another one is in the government. But all speakers are from one side of the government. What stops us from having a Deputy Speaker coming from the opposition?
The MP cites how this bill will ease removal of individuals in Parliament that are not carrying on their duties accordingly.
We should not come here, want to remove someone, you sit down on the table there for 3 months, just looking for a way of removing him. Now, I want to ease the way we remove some people.
MP Lumu says the bill in question is still under drafting and consultations and is expected to be out by the end of this week. Lydia Chomkama and Gloria Gutavinji, Parliament.
Uganda Police Force has called for public vigilance as security strategizes on responding to the counter-terror threats. Now, while addressing the media, police spokesperson Rukidi Kiijanangoma urged the public to stay calm and report any suspicious persons and activity to security agencies.
The United Nations Organization and the U.S. Embassy raised terror threats in Uganda and released a security advisory to their citizens living in and those intending to come to Uganda. Uganda's security responded swiftly on the alert.
It is true there is a terror threat, but there have always been threats. The fact that Uganda is an active participant and it is on the front line in the fight against terror, we certainly are targets to terror threats.
The public is urged to stay calm while heightening their vigilance and to be cautious of their environment. People are called upon to collaborate with security by reporting any suspicious individuals and activities to any nearby security agency.
Do not relax. Do not relax, because when you do, you will be hit. Malls should heighten and also maintain the measures that are supposed to be in place. We are supposed to have access control where people are checked in public transport areas like parks, taxi parks and bus parks.
Meanwhile, in a joint security operation, 63 suspects were arrested for illegal possession and consumption of opium. These are accused of being notorious in criminal activities in areas of Mbalwa and Sau, in Chaliwajala and other parts of Namugongo.
Who most were found in possession of opium, and we managed to take 51 to court. During the screening process, 12 were excused. Why we usually carry out these operations is these very youth are the one who later go and do a number of offenses on the wananchi in those neighborhoods. They snatch phones, they break into houses, they make life very unpalatable.
In Kasese district, police arrested Kusemererwe Ronald for selling stolen motorcycles. It is alleged that Kusemererwe, a mechanic, has made it a habit of dealing in stolen motorcycles and spare parts. Komagum Rogers and Abdul Nasir Luwama for UBC.
Doreen Keita, the former Rubaga Deputy Resident City Commissioner, has expressed gratitude to government for its continued support in the development of the area. While officially handing over office to Henry Chitambula, the newly appointed Deputy Resident City Commissioner, Ms. Keita advised the new RCC to embrace government programs such as Emyoga, PDM, WESO and GROW, among others in Rubaga Division, in order to eradicate poverty.
In her remarks, the outgoing Deputy RCC has underscored the importance of sustainable development and security, aligning with the manifesto of the National Resistance Movement manifestos.
Trying to make sure Emyoga take root. We find out who took the money since 2021 and how is the money operate, where is it and how far, the testimonies.
Henry Chitambula, the new Deputy Resident City Commissioner, pledged to collaborate with the residents of Rubaga Division to foster growth and development.
There are very many Myoga, PDM, there is a web still ongoing, there is a new one called GROW, and so on and so forth. So we need to strengthen monitoring to ensure that we benefit in these programs.
His vision is supported by John Bosco Byamukama, the town clerk, Rubaga North Division, who encouraged the new deputy RCC to foster teamwork and collaboration with colleagues in order to enhance the division's performance.
Among other programs, we have a number of infrastructure projects that are ongoing. So many projects under the African Development Bank. There are new that are coming up under the support from the World Bank. But there is a lot that is going on as far as infrastructure transformation of this division is concerned.
Navasa Viola and Joseph Muyingu compiled this story.
A newly appointed Chancellor of Makerere University, Dr. Crispus Kiijanangoma, has expressed gratitude over his appointment, pledging to serve his country in any capacity. Now, this follows the institution's Vice-Chancellor, Professor Barnabas Nawangwe's post on X, congratulating Dr. Kiijanangoma on behalf of Makerere University Council.
I will take on the job of being the Chancellor for Makerere University. For us revolutionaries, we're always ready for any task to serve our country. And as you know, I've toured so many sectors of our country. So this is only new in the sense that it is a university under the Ministry of Education, and I'm prepared to serve. The Ugandans, in my perception, have a lot of respect for Makerere because it is our oldest university. Many of our leaders, even in present times, our age group, even young people who are in the parliament, many of them have been to Makerere. So it's not a strange place. I am sure we shall easily harmonize with other colleagues, the Vice-Chancellor, the professors, and the students. The main thing is to ensure that Makerere continues to play its role in the transformation and development of Uganda.
As his bishop, I'm happy. As someone from Kasese, I'm happy. And above all, I'm happy for the appointment because one, as I know, Dr. Crispus Kiijanangoma is one of the people in this country that was given an assignment. He wants to do it 100% correct.
Now, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni appointed Dr. Crispus Kiijanangoma as the new Chancellor of Makerere University, Uganda's largest public university. Now, let's take a look at his profile.
Dr. Crispus Walter Kiijanangoma, born on January 1st, 1952, is a Ugandan physician, politician, and career diplomat from Kasese District, Western Uganda. He attended Bwera Primary School, Nyakasura School, and King's College Buddo for his primary and secondary education. Kiijanangoma studied medicine at Makerere University, graduating with a Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery in 1978. He later obtained a Master of Health Science with a specialization in population dynamics from the Johns Hopkins School of Public Health in 2004. Kiijanangoma began his political career in 1980 when he participated as a candidate on the Uganda Patriotic Movement UPM platform during the first post-Idi Amin national elections in Uganda. He won his constituency, making him the only UPM candidate to win during those elections. He later joined the National Resistance Movement during its struggles against the second Milton Obote regime from 1981 to 1986. From 1986, when the NRM assumed power in Uganda, until 2006, Kiijanangoma held several cabinet and non-cabinet posts in the Ugandan government. In 1986, he was the Minister for Cooperatives and Marketing. In 1986 to 1992, he was the Minister of Finance, credited with establishing the Uganda Revenue Authority. In 1994 to 1996, he was the Minister of Internal Affairs. In 1996 to 2001, he was the Minister of Health, credited with efficiently handling the Ebola outbreak in Gulu in 2000 and serving as chairman of the Global Fund. From 2001 to 2006, he was the Minister without portfolio in the Office of the President and the National Political Commissar. In 2006, Kiijanangoma was appointed as the Minister of Defense, a position he held until 2016. During his tenure, he continuously represented Bukonjo County West in the Ugandan Parliament from 1980 until 2016. In 2016, he was appointed Uganda's ambassador to China, based in Beijing. President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni has now appointed Dr. Crispus Kiijanangoma, the new Chancellor Makerere University in Kampala, Uganda's largest public university. He succeeds Professor Ezra Suruma, who has served as Chancellor from 2016 to 2023.
A Forum for Democratic Change, FDC Kiijanangoma faction, has distanced itself from amending the private members' bill titled the Administration of Parliament Act 2024 that seeks to elect the leader of opposition in Parliament. They said the law will increase divide and rule, among other concerns. Now, this was during the weekly FDC press conference held at their headquarters in Kiijanangoma.
During the regional parliamentary sitting in Gulu on Thursday last week, Mityana MP Richard Lumu asked for a leave of parliament to table the amendment of Parliament Administration Bill 2024 that seeks opposition to elect the leader of opposition in Parliament.
A party with the majority members of Parliament in opposition shall produce the leader of opposition in a consultation. But I bet if there is any other party which has ever been consulted on who to become leader of opposition, now that one is a lacuna.
However, during the weekly press briefing at FDC Kiijanangoma, the party rejected the move because it undermines democratic principles.
The amendment could lead to intense rivalry and infighting among opposition MPs, weakening the opposition collective strength and effectiveness. It may not be able to pull out a leader of opposition if it has no power to elect him or her. And the party has ways of electing someone. Because our democracy may be 10 people can sit and elect someone. That's our democracy in our party. Sarumu, before going for this, should have had the courtesy of talking to all the parties in Parliament. Consult them. In FDC, we used to go and visit all the parties and consult them on a lot of things. Should have consulted us.
They argue that FDC has been there in trying to bring up such bills, which would weaken opposition's ability.
We are the only party who have tried all options. The first time we were sending a leader of opposition in Parliament, we wanted to be over-democratic here, and we said members of Parliament and NEC members should sit and elect a leader of opposition, which was done. And Honorable Atigo was chosen, and he went to Parliament. But when someone is chosen that way, when he gets to Parliament, you may have divided loyalty. Does he give loyalty to NEC, that's the party, or give loyalty to the MPs that elected him?
FDC called upon the leader of opposition to block the amendment of this bill, which it terms redundant.
We call upon the opposition leadership in Parliament, led by NUP, to offer leadership and mobilize the opposition political parties and key stakeholders to block this very redundant amendment. We call for opposition unity.
Kiijanangoma further cited that FDC Katonga has no powers to dissolve the FDC party.
The Katonga group lacks legal standing to dissolve FDC, and we suggest they focus on registering their new party, and Mr. Bidigwa in particular, to stop using FDC name and brand for personal gain. If you are tired of the party, leave it, go.
By 30th August 2024, Parliament granted leave to Mityana South legislator Richard Lumu from the Democratic Party to introduce the administration of Parliamentary Bill 2024. Rebecca Nantongo, Susan Inabu, good day, UBC News.
Now, opposition members of Parliament have been called upon to put their house in order to be able to resist the manipulative politics that is ensuing in the August House. The appeal was made by the President, FDC Katonga faction Arias Lukwago, while addressing the media on the motion moved by the Mityana South Member of Parliament, Richard Lumu, on opposition members of Parliament electing the leader of opposition.
While addressing the media, the President FDC Katonga Arias Lukwago said they disagree with the idea of the opposition members of Parliament electing the leader of opposition because it will be killing the principle of multi-party democracy. This follows the Mityana South Richard Lumu moving a motion of a bill to amend the Administration of Parliament Act for all opposition members of Parliament to elect the leader of opposition.
A call to our colleagues in the House, put your house in order, put your troops in order. It does no harm for the MPs to sit and harmonize their respective positions in our backyard, in the Parliament. And we need to put a buffer there. We need to put a bulwark, because as events unfold today, it's really disturbing. Sexisms, the kind of faulty lines within the opposition created by the manipulative politics, to desist against it.
The chairman FDC Katonga, Ambassador Waswabirigwa, says this proposed amendment is being used as a test with plans to come up with a new system for electing the president.
Wrong. But he has already made arrangements to be elected by the member of Parliament. So we are going to go towards a new system whereby a party that has a majority in Parliament will declare their leader or chairman, the president of Uganda, through the parliamentary. Some of you may know about this, but this has happened before.
Meanwhile, FDC Katonga says they have not received any response from Kenya High Commission after taking a petition on the arrest of their colleagues. They say they are now working with a team of lawyers from Kenya Public Interest Litigation to file case in the High Court of Kenya.
But in addition to that, we have instructed lawyers in Kenya to file a petition in the High Court of Kenya against the government of Kenya for being complicit in the kidnap of our colleagues. In the High Court Kenya to order the government of Kenya, the Attorney General of Kenya, to respect the rights of the members of the East African community, because we are
is with all political prisoners, not necessarily the 36 that belongs to us. And we appeal to all those outside who can help, please do help.
I'm Nafka Farida and Juman Samba in Kampala.
Now, on June 12th, the Karuma Hydropower Station project, the largest hydropower station in Uganda, designed and constructed by Power China, officially obtained the project completion certificate, marking the handover of the project. Located on the White Nile in northern Uganda, about 270 kilometers away from Kampala city, the Karuma Hydropower Station is the largest hydropower station in Uganda, with a total installed capacity of 600 megawatts. Now, CGTN's Leon Senyange reports as China-Africa Trade Summit kicks off in Beijing today.
Along the Nile River in northern Uganda lies the country's latest power generating installation. Construction of the Karuma Hydropower Station started in 2013 and obtained its project completion certificate this year.
It's also the biggest hydropower station in Uganda. When we came in 2013, and it's generally, we all understand that Uganda is a developing country, and especially in the hydropower area. So after its completion, it will add almost 40% of the power capability.
The power plant cost an estimated $1.7 billion. 85% of that was financed by the Export-Import Bank of China, 15% by the Ugandan government.
China's financing focuses on how to better the technical mechanism to ensure the project's own sustainability and their intended socio-economic benefits for upgrading local industries and improving people's livelihoods.
The financial boost has got the station up and running.
And this is where the power is generated, 600 megawatts that can be added to the national grid. That is expected to considerably rise Uganda's generation capacity.
Uganda has an installed hydropower capacity of 1,510 megawatts. The government says that the potential increase to 2,000 megawatts will be critical in meeting the country's increasing demand for electricity.
People are yearning. They have maize mills, coffee factories. Power is either not there or it's not enough. And they are using diesel generators, and yet we want clean energy.
The Karuma Hydropower Station is one of the models of cooperation between China and Uganda in the energy sector. And with the Uganda government planning to scale up access and distribution of power to neighboring countries, progressive collaboration has shown promise for more energy infrastructure. Leon Sanyangesi, GTN, Karuma, Northern Uganda.
Now, the Directorate of Traffic and Road Safety in the Ministry of Works and Transport is embarking on accreditation of bus drivers to curb the emerging spate of accidents on Ugandan roads. This comes after the registration of 98 fatalities in 7 days and 336 victims of road accidents, all attributed to reckless driving by drivers, especially bus drivers.
Of the notable accidents that claimed 8 lives in the last week is that of Kabale Bugonzi along Kampala-Masaka Highway. Police attributes the accident to the reckless overtaking by the Jaguar bus driver.
The crash occurred when the driver of the Jaguar bus traveling from Kampala to Kigali attempted to overtake an unidentified vehicle by drifting into the opposite lane, colliding with the oncoming Mitsubishi Canter. And the bus rolled multiple times, claiming the lives of 8 passengers and injuring 20 others.
Another accident that involved a bus belonging to Poko Poko Bus Company claimed 10 lives along Fort Portal Highway. The total number of fatalities in the traffic report of last week is 98 and 336 injuries.
You will notice that most of the crashes registered were happening in the night. And remember that night driving requires extra caution and attention. So think twice before you embark onto a night drive.
Among the fatalities are 34 motorcyclists, 24 passengers in vehicles, 20 pedestrians, 13 passengers on motorcycles, 3 drivers, 2 cyclists and 2 others.
Accounted for 48%. Vehicle occupants are accounted for 26%, pedestrians 20%, then pedocyclists 2%.
The Directorate intends to embark on accreditation of bus drivers to curb irresponsible driving.
The Ministry of Works and Transport is going ahead to reintroduce the accreditation of bus drivers with the badges. Hopefully this one is also going to cause some sanity among bus drivers and also conduct the reinspection of all buses operating on the roads.
Passengers are urged to be cautious while moving in vehicles driven by irresponsible people. The traffic police encourages passengers to utilize security toll-free numbers to alert police in case of bad driving for highway officers' intervention. Patricia Nandago and Abdul Salawama for ABC.
We'll now take a short break, but we'll be returning with the latest in business. Do stay with us.
You used to tell me that I don't make you happy. All that time you would be complaining. I'll call you every day, yeah yo, baby don't know.
You can now get all the Chibuzi out with MTN voice bundles. Call all networks Kubei Dondoro. Buy a 25-minute voice bundle for only 1,000 or buy any daily voice bundle of your choice. Dial *100*221# and select daily or use the My MTN app. When we talk together, we are unstoppable.
Once upon a time, there lived identical twins who gave birth to beautiful princes and princesses.
Their mothers gave their babies' bodies a lot of care by applying on their skin with baby Junior jelly.
So dried their chariots and everyone would admire their glowing skin. Fun fact, baby Junior prevents diaper rash, dry and sensitive skin.
Moms all over Africa love baby Junior jelly. Baby Junior's the skin. No more worries anymore. Boo, 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 boo. Baby Junior.
Baby Junior.
Sometimes, the pressure of paying taxes can feel overwhelming. The temptation to cut corners and under-declare your income may creep in. But before you make that choice, consider the cost. Under-declaring taxes might seem like an easy way out, but the consequences can be severe. URA offers resources and payment plans to help you manage your taxes. You can pay in installments if it's difficult to pay in full. Transparency is key. Avoid penalties and unexpected liabilities by reporting everything accurately. To report corruption, call URA on our toll-free lines. Uganda Revenue Authority. Developing Uganda together.
Where does it come from? That thing that makes us Ugandan. Some say it's in our history, in our culture, and in our hearts. In our warm smiles and vast miles of coffee. It's in our inherent pursuit to always be better, to never stop growing and glowing. We are a nation of sweat and skills, a nation of ideas and inventions. But what truly makes us Ugandan is our quest to invest in agribusiness, manufacturing, tourism, infrastructure, health, and education to improve the quality of life of Ugandans. That's what makes us Uganda Development Bank.
We can do better.
Uganda Development Bank, inspiring development.
Uganda fire! Endiva fire! Our border fire!
Uganda! Thank you for showing your fire! Has Nabole Stadium opened its doors once again? While you were moving in, you were the 12th player. When Uganda Cranes needed you the most. Through our famous wins against Bavangunda and our unlucky losses, you stood firm, supporting even louder. Now, as Uganda Cranes take on South Africa and Congo this September, South Sudan in October, and play our second legs against South Africa and Congo in November, bring even more fire! Because with your support, Uganda Cranes is unstoppable! Uganda fire! Proudly brought to you by MTN, the #1 supporter of Uganda Cranes. Together, we are unstoppable.
It's true what people say, that when I wash and you wash your hands with soap, we'll have less infections as Ugandans. After all, it's hands that handle money. It's hands that feed us. Hands that prepare soil for farming. Hands that we use to learn. And hands that we use for fun.
When I wash and you wash, it means clean hands for all. So, wash your hands with soap and clean water regularly to keep away infections and disease-causing germs. This message is from the National Hand Washing Secretariat with support from UNICEF.
Welcome back from that break, and this is News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at an item of international news. Now, one of the most notable areas of partnership is infrastructure development. China has invested heavily in Djibouti's infrastructure projects, including construction and expansion of ports, airports, roads and railways. Now, as the China-Africa Trade Summit kicks off, we look at the most prominent project that the Chinese government is working on, the Djibouti International Free Trade Zone, which has been developed by Chinese companies and serves as a major logistics and trading hub in the region.
Djibouti is strengthening its role in moving the wheels of the global economy as it focuses more on the building and improvement of vital infrastructure. One such infrastructure is the country's port of Doralé, which is part of China's broader Belt and Road Initiative.
One important feature of our cooperation is that China support the Djibouti to gain the autonomous capacity of development to support Djibouti to realize the objective.
The Doralé multipurpose port has placed Djibouti right at the heart of crucial international logistics and trade networks. It has world-class facilities and equipment made by Chinese firm ZPMC. The strategic location of Djibouti as a vital shipping hub for goods traveling through the Suez Canal has long been a source of economic strength. Doralé Port now has the capacity to handle millions of tons of cargo annually. It's a huge 690-hectare megaport that connects the continents of Asia, Africa and Europe. Commodities such as fertilizers, consumer goods, oil and technological equipment all pass through here. Its growth trajectory has provided Africa with a key maritime outlet and given the continent increased access to global markets. Djibouti also exports its livestock through this key port. Most of the country's livestock are shipped to lucrative markets in the Middle East. According to port authorities, Doralé has contributed significantly to the social welfare of Djiboutians through job creation.
It has contributed a lot to the employment in Djibouti. You have to know that we are approximately more or less 500 employees working in the port.
The port has also been particularly beneficial for neighboring landlocked Ethiopia, which relies heavily on it for its import and export activities. All the berths at the port are directly connected to the Chinese-funded and built modern Addis Ababa to Djibouti railway line. As Djibouti continues to modernize its port facilities, the port of Doralé is set to play an even greater role in shaping the future of global trade. Daniel Arab Moy, CGTN, Djibouti City, Djibouti.
The East Africa UK Tourism and Cultural Expo 2024 is here, happening on 8th and 9th of November 2024 under the theme Enhancing Tourism as Engine for Social and Economic Transformation on the sidelines of WTM London at the Rembrandt Hotel, 11th Thalo, PI South Kensington, London, SW7 2RS, United Kingdom. For tickets, exhibitors will pay £1,000 and participants will pay £300. For more information, call +256 787 096 100 or +254 795 806 969. Visit www.eauktourismexpo.com to register.
Coming soon on UBC.
Welcome to Inside Broadcasting,
sharing with you the process behind what you see on the screens.
My name is Lorene Masika Kazimoto.
Step behind the scenes and witness the magic that brings your daily broadcasts to life.
That's why I come out openly to actually tell you that I'm an investigative journalist. That even when you see me here, I'm actually investigating you guys. So you should be aware about that.
Experience the hustle, the heart, and the human stories of our on and off-air staff.
I see my phone ringing and I'm like, ooh, which number is this? I hear the president on the other line.
The president of the Republic of Uganda.
Of Uganda, yes.
Be inspired.
Welcome back. Let's have a look now at sports news, and we begin with Paralympics Games, where State Minister for Sports Peter Ogwang has visited Team Uganda in the Paralympic Games village. He was accompanied by the National Council of Sports Chairperson Ambrose Tashobia and the Council's General Secretary Dr. Patrick Ogwell.
The Paris 2024 Paralympics have entered day 6 with no Ugandan in action. This gave the State Minister for Sports, Peter Ogwang, an opportunity to visit the camp. He arrived with good news of equal treatment in all aspects to this team, as was for the Olympics cast, in terms of allowances and cash prize for each medal won. Ogwang also re-echoed the need for the development of parasports infrastructure in the country.
Athletes, and that is the same price for Olympics, both para and Winter Olympics. So, what I have learned here is entirely an investment in sports. Number 2, what I've learned here is that we need to put in a lot of investment also in the para sport, because to be honest, the equipment is quite expensive for para sport. Like I was told, these bicycles which they were using for competing, there are some of them which cost about $20,000 US. But also there are other equipment which I'm very sure we will be able to do better. But they have also appreciated government for the first time. The kind of facilitation they have got, the kind of support for their qualification they have got is quite big to them.
Swimmer Husna Kukundakwe, who returns to the pool this week for the S8 50-meter freestyle, welcomed the development of putting the athletes in the same category for the stipend and facilitation.
That concept in general shows how Uganda is moving towards equality and inclusion for people with disabilities. Just knowing that the Olympics and Paralympics are now considered to be at the same level and acquiring the same opportunities is already an achievement in all that. And also because he spoke about being a professional athlete. Professional athlete without maybe any other side jobs can be quite expensive, paying for training fees, food, all that stuff. So with these parastatals and this monthly salary that comes with them, it's to support that training.
Uganda is represented by 4 athletes at the Games, with the others being the 2 runners David Imong and Peace Oroma, and paralifter Dennis Mbazira.
Last but not least, we are coming back and I'm going to carry out a mobilization drive, because I'm very sure there are many para sportsmen and women who are out there at home, various parts of the country, who maybe would have done better. But in terms of our messaging, in terms of encouraging parents to bring them up to do this work, maybe it has been low. I want to call upon our dear parents who have children with disabilities that it's no longer a question of a child being disabled. It's a question that they can do what we can do who are not disabled. So I challenge all of them that finally these competitions are there. Let's make the best use of them. These are the opportunities these children get.
Now, Bull FC have made history in the FIFA Super 8 football tournament by becoming the first team to win the competition twice. The oil manufacturers defeated Vipers 6-5 on penalties following a goalless stalemate after normal and extra time at Rubaga on Sunday night. In addition to adding more history, Bull FC are back-to-back champions for the first time. Their journey began with a 1-1 draw against Maroons in the first leg of the quarterfinals at Chitende before they won the second leg 3-0 at Rubaga to advance to the semi-finals 4-1 on aggregate. Bull FC then beat Kitara by 1-0, a tougher semi-final that booked their slot for the final. The FIFA Super 8 Cup has now been played 5 times, and it's KCCA that clinched the maiden trophy in 2018 after beating Onduparaka at Wankulukuku. And Mandela National Stadium will, in the next 7 days, come under the spotlight when it hosts 3 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. Now, to find out its readiness, our reporter John Van Stentamu gives us this.
Mandela National Stadium Nambole is going through its last touches of the refurbishment first phase, with work on the artificial running track nearing an end. This comes at a time when the stadium will, in a historic first, host 3 high-profile 2025 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier games in a space of 5 days. The first of these will be Kenya facing Zimbabwe this Friday. Then Uganda will host Congo-Brazzaville on Monday next week, and Zimbabwe playing Cameroon a day later.
Yeah, with the Tartan now we are in final stages because first, second and the third court have been laid. What is remaining is now marking to indicate the lane, and we are expecting an expert to come in. I think he's flying in this week. Then soon we'll start his work. He asked for about also 2 weeks to do the marking. However, as it is now, we can host matches. There is nothing because it has now cured.
Okay. Hosting Kenya and Zimbabwe games earns Uganda money, which figure Mandela National Stadium Nambole management has promised to release later this week. Meanwhile, the Uganda Cranes have continued preparations for this Friday's game against South Africa. The team that already set foot in South Africa ahead of the Group K opening fixture has gone through several drills, with the latest a gym session.
Yeah, we have reached well. We got this side well. The condition is good. We started our activation gym work. Today we are going back to start the work on the pitch. So we're getting to the preparation for the game coming on Friday. So I would like to ask the fans to come all in and give us their support. We need them behind us on Friday's game and also back at home.
News from the camp is that team captain Khalid Aucho, Rogers Mato, Stephen Mukwala and Calvin Kabui have arrived, with Elioka Pradosi and Elvis Bomono joining later today. Uganda will, after South Africa, play Congo-Brazzaville on Monday next week in a game the Federation has urged members of the public to temporarily disregard any information contrary to what it will release.
We've almost come to the end of this bulletin, but before we leave you, let's have a recap of our top stories. Mover of Private Members Bill 2024 MP Lumu explains the bill. Uganda Police Force calls for public vigilance over terrorism threats. Power China builds 4 billion kilowatt hours Karuma Hydropower Dam. And in sports, Sports State Minister Peter Ogwang visits Uganda Paralympics team camp in Paris. And that's all we had time for. Thank you so much for having kept us company. On sign language, it is Yusuf Senyomo, and I'm Rukidi Kiijanangoma, wishing you a blessed night, but we'll leave you with the weather forecast with Nanteza Juliet at the Weather Center.
With Gulu reporting the highest amount of rainfall. My name is Juliet Nanteza with the latest weather forecast from Uganda National Meteorological Authority. When we take a look at the satellite imagery, it shows that we have St. Helena and a high on the tip of South Africa that are pushing in dry and strong winds towards our country and pushing the rain belt further north of the country. That's why the north is still active, while elsewhere the rains we are receiving are due to the local effects. For tomorrow, we expect to wake up with sunny intervals in central, eastern, western, and the north. And later on in the afternoon, central Kampala, we expect to have thunder showers at a maximum of 28. Nakasongola, we expect light showers, and Masaka at a maximum of 27 in Masaka. Mubende, we expect sunny intervals at a maximum of 28. Eastern, we expect a maximum of 29 in most areas with light showers. The western stretch, Masindi, Kasese and Kabale Highlands, we expect to have light showers at a maximum of 30 in Kasese, Masindi 28, Kabale a maximum of 24, and Bara we expect sunny intervals at a maximum of 28. In the north, Gulu, we expect a maximum of 28 with thunder rains, and elsewhere we expect a maximum of 30 with light showers. For some of the world cities, Dubai, we expect sunny intervals at a maximum of 46. Nairobi, we expect a maximum of 24 with sunny intervals. Cairo, we expect a maximum of 38 with sunny conditions. And London, we expect a maximum of 21 with cloudy conditions. For more information on your phone, dial *201#. Have a blessed night.
UBC, inspiring Uganda.
The Journey program on UBC TV.